Hey Pisces, I'm Empress Rose, and we're here for your general reading. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't, and check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus for additional information. And I just realized I'm wearing my glasses right now, so you won't be able to see my eyes, but that's okay. You just want to see the cards anyway. All of these cards are pre-shuffled and prepared and prayed over and just very thoroughly shuffled. So we're going to start with the Oracle Mystical Moments deck to get our dear Pisces an idea of where we're going with this reading. I feel unprepared. All right. All right, what's Pisces got coming this week? Pisces, what do you got? What's a message for Pisces? Message for Pisces. Message for Pisces. Not very forthcoming, are we? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Ooh, we have a lot on our mind. My goodness, the last 3 readings I've done have just been people with a lot on their mind, not doing anything, thinking, which is good to a certain extent. Okay, so we've got listen. We've got a deep listening. We've got a grounding, going underneath it all. There's some growth up top here. There's some sunshine, some flowers, but you know, we want to enjoy that stuff, but she's really going into underneath it all. Like what's going on behind the scenes? So this is like a deep dive into your subconscious, into your intuition. I'm really feeling a subconscious, a self-exam. I mean, her eyes are closed. So this might be a self-examination preparing for a resurrection is what I'm seeing here. It's that pause, it's that quietness, it's that quiet space, a little bit of a dying to something for the purpose of resurrecting and coming back later stronger with a deeper understanding of what's going on, the world around you, the transformations that are happening around you. It's not like perfectly clear sky, actually. I mean, I want to see sun. We've got butterflies. Oh my God, we have a ladybug. I should wear my glasses more often for this. This is a lot of clear stuff coming in. We have a ladybug, which to me is a message from a deceased ancestor. So I'm seeing, you're just gonna see more is what I'm seeing. You're gonna do this deep dive to see more, see with more clarity. Close your eyes and see. You know, there's a lot to be seen here. There's a lot to experience here. There's a lot to understand here and observe. And it's asking you to go and do that observation that you would as a scientist, be a scientist of yourself, a scientist of your own mind. Approach it with a lot of curiosity. You're going to experience a lot of growth and a lot of clarity from that. And my home is my castle. Again, we have this whole world in your mind, and it looks like you're coming to understand it with a lot more clarity. You're seeing things much more clearly, and here it is in your mind, and you want to give it to either someone or to the world. You want to communicate something. So this is preparing to and wanting to communicate. I see these same birds, so yeah, there is some communication this week going on. You're letting something go. There's something freeing about this. There's sort of an ending here, and you're letting it, you're communicating about it. A cycle is ending. There's definitely like a sense here for me with these 2 cards together of a cycle ending for the purpose of resurrection. So there's a little bit of a death here of something that's happened, some experience that you've had, and you want to talk about it. You want to talk about this ending, and you want to talk about this resurrection and this stuff, this way that your mind is growing and building and developing. You want to talk about it. You want to share it. You've gone on this really deep dive, and you've come up with some really gorgeous things, some really gorgeous ideas, some really gorgeous transformations, and you want to You're preparing to share that. You want to share it. You are sharing it. All right, we're going to move to the Santa Muerte tarot deck here. So again, these have been very thoroughly shuffled and prepared. Well, shuffled and prayed over. I don't know how you prepare cards other than shuffling. So this is my nervous shuffle. Imagine me at the end of the high dive. Not quite sure I want to do it. All right, Pisces. Here's your past, here's your present, here's your inner landscape, here's that issue, here's your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Fuck. No, you're going to be okay. Got some good, you do have an ending coming up here. Not an ending, a flipping of the cycle, an ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. Okay, so in your past, you've had this Page of Swords, learning, taking notes, understanding. This might be journaling out your thoughts and your ideas. There might have been a miscommunication here, but overall you were just learning. So this is, the page is the learner, and the swords is ideas and communication. So you're figuring out how to communicate something, trying to understand something, learning something. I feel like that's the same vibe we have going down here, going deep. We've got these yellow flowers echoing this. A real deep dive into a deep learning experience. And I think that this listen card is telling us that we're learning about ourselves and learning about our subconscious and our psyches. And we did a lot of reading and writing, journaling, not communicating with someone outside of ourselves, but communicating with ourselves about what about this idea and how does this idea filter through here and that kind of thing. So in your present situation, you have the Page of Wands. So now you're learning about inspiration. You're learning about the path of heart. You're learning about listening to that voice inside you that says that wants to do something, and you're not quite sure about it. You're not moving here. You're sitting still. You're standing still. You have this message, and you're just sitting on it. You're just waiting, but you've got this inspiration in your hand. You've got this whole message that you wrote in the past, this understanding that you have of a situation, this deep dive that you did. You wrote it all out and you're holding on to it and you're waiting for the inspiration. You're thinking about the inspiration, about what that's going to look like, what's that going to feel like once you want to deliver this message. And look, you got this message in your hand right here. You got this message in your hand right here. This piece of your mind that you want to give to this gorgeous piece of your mind, not a shitty piece of your mind, but a gorgeous piece of your mind that you want to give to the world. You wrote it all out here. So these two cards are just echoing these two cards. Deep dive, lots of thought, lots of writing something out, journaling something, learning about something, learning quite a bit, really doing a lot of thinking about something, a lot on your mind, this whole castle back here, this whole world in your mind. And now having a lot of curiosity about what's it going to be like to share this thing? What's it going to be like to give this message? What will it feel like when I'm ready to do that? What will the situation look like when I'm ready to share this message that I've written? So one is about developing the message and learning about the message, and the other is about sharing the message. And you're not sharing it yet, but you're definitely thinking about it and wondering what it's going to look like. So that's the Page of Wands. We have a fuck ton of wands here, people. We've got 4 wands out of a seven card spread, and we've got 3 pages. There's 4 pages available, and we've got 3 of them. So there's just this overall vibe of learning and discovery and being at the beginning level of a journey. And this journey has to do with inspiration, maybe sexuality too. This journey has to do with feeling inspired and creativity and that kind of thing. So that's what this overall vibe is here. Is there's some sort of creative, inspired, intuitive journey that you're going on, or this storyline is referring to, and you're learning about it as you go. So that's the overall vibe. That's why we're doing this deep listening and this deep dive, is because we know that we're at student level still, and we're not at teacher level. We're at student level. We're not at master level, which would be the Knight. Okay, in your inner landscape, you have this Ace of Wands. So you feel this inspiration. It's just getting started. You've just planted it. There's no moonlight here. Inside, you're just starting to see something. You're starting to feel this inspiration that you've been curious about. And you're curious about this inspiration and where is this coming from, this desire to grow in this direction and in this way. You've had to deal with some inner demons. There's a little bit of a magic sprouting up all of a sudden of this idea. It kind of took you by surprise. You don't know where it's going. You don't have light. You bloomed somehow in the middle of the night. It was just this like, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you just kind of, we're like, wow, this is how I'm blooming. This is how I'm going to grow. This is my direction. There's no, 2 o'clock in the psychological morning, not like 2 o'clock in the morning, but like there was no reason it wasn't clear. You're not clear on where this is going. You're not clear on what you even want out of it. You're just, but you just know that it's time to grow, and it's time to grow in this direction, and it's time to feel inspired in this direction. And that's the only thing you know right now. You've planted a seed, it's sprouting. You've planted a seed in a very rich environment, a very beautiful, rich environment. This message is here on the ground. In front of you. So we've got a message written out in the first 3 things, something that's actually been written out. And you've got it in the ground in front of you as you've planted. And there's no sun yet, but you know the direction of the sun. You know the direction that you want to go in is up. You don't have the feedback you need yet for that to make sense, but you know that that's where you're going. You don't have that feedback yet. You don't have that sun shining down on you. You can't see it. We don't even see the moon in this card. We just see moonlight in the background. So it's very much an inspiration that seems to come out of nowhere and doesn't make very much sense to you. And that's happening deep inside of you. And I'm saying this whole card is inner landscape. So you've had a big moment, a big shift, a big new journey beginning inside of you. And it's probably a little bit confusing because it looks like you don't know where it's going. But you are headed in the right direction. You're just starting. You're pointed in the right direction. But it's probably a little confusing right now at the beginning of this inspired journey. At issue is the devil. There's some sort of, so this is usually about like, the devil card is sort of like, I don't know what possessed me to do that. These things that draw us and pull us. And so I'm seeing some sort of disruption to that when we take this in the reverse. We're either seeing something that's very much controlling the situation, an addiction. Usually it refers to some sort of addiction, some sort of obsession. It can also, I think in this case with our inner landscape card being this Ace of Wands, is being pulled in a direction that doesn't make sense to you and feels like it might actually be harming you and be a very difficult direction, a direction that's not quite feeling safe and not quite feeling good. And you're being sort of bedeviled and pulled in this. And normally this bedeviled energy is like, I don't know what possessed me to pick up a guitar one day, but I did. And now I'm, Santana, I don't know. Like, it's just like, this is like, I don't know, this fate, this contract. So the devil card can refer to contract. So there's something that's gone on maybe with a soul contract or something like that that's not right. That's not doing the right thing. So it's either an addiction or it's not trusting that you're being pulled in this direction for a reason. And that, so if we got it in the upright, we'd be like, okay, there's some sort of force that's pulling us forward. It knows what it's doing. We don't know where it's going. And I would see that with this Ace of Wands, but I see that you're either not trusting the direction that it's going, like you've sprouted here, but now what the fuck, like there's no light, like how did I get here? So you're either not trusting that this process is unfolding, and that is actually preventing the process from unfolding. or you are dealing with something that's very much controlling you, and it's coming from within you and you don't understand it. So I see a lot of just not understanding. I think this Ace of Wands caught you by surprise, and you don't understand where you're going with it, what's going on, and it's creating a lot of resistance in you. You're not able to go with this, like, I don't know what possessed me to do that, you know, and just like, but I did. You're like, I don't know what's possessed me to sprout right here, and I don't want to keep going in this direction because this feels very scary and very unsafe. In your environment, and it might actually be unsafe because in your environment we have this Two of Wands. We have this very volatile situation here. It's dangerous, it's volatile. We have guns. These are the only guns. The rest of everything else in here has swords or scythes or that. This is the only one with guns in it. So guns are drawn. You're in this sort of like I want to say like a Old West like gunfight where you've walked out your paces and now you're facing each other and your guns are drawn. Who's going to shoot first? It doesn't feel safe. Something about this environment doesn't feel safe, and maybe that's why you're like, what the fuck? This has got to be not good, pulling me in this direction. I've had this inspiration. I've had this Ace of Wands, and now I'm in this Two of Wands, and this Two of Wands feels very volatile and very unsafe, and I feel very uncomfortable here. I don't feel good here. So that's what we're getting in your environment. Your to-do list is this Page of Pentacles. So I'm not seeing that you're supposed to solve this environmental issue of this Two of Wands. I'm seeing that you're supposed to continue on with your business. You're supposed to just mind your business. You're a farmer and you're beginning a harvest. So it's saying begin this harvest. So you started something, you had this great idea, start moving towards it. You're curious about this fruit. Get curious, I think, is this fear situation. Yeah, this is a little bit of a dangerous situation. It's true. But what it's asking you to do and how it's asking you to deal with this dangerous standoff situation is to get curious. And that's also what we're seeing here. Get curious about what's going on, about this harvest, about this fruit that you're harvesting, about gathering. Get curious about your money. Get curious about something in the real world, like, and start and take joy in beginning this harvest and the beginning of this process with a lot of curiosity, being a scientist of what the fuck you grew in this garden. Like, this is the farming. The pentacles here in this deck is the farming. You worked hard and you're reaping the rewards. So this is the beginning of that process, and you're a page here, so you're learning, and so you have to have the beginner mind here. You can't be coming into whatever this situation is where you're just sprouting this Ace of Wands. There's just so much beginner. You have to come in. You can't come in acting like you know it all and thinking that you know it all. It's going to blow this situation up. You have to come in with a lot of curiosity, a lot of humility, understanding that you're just learning here. So beginner mind. You're being called into beginner mind, and that's what I see here. Is this death to resurrection, this forget about being an expert about anything, forget what you know, go back down into the earth, forget what you know, pretend you died, and come back as a newborn, come back as a baby, ready to learn and ready to experience reality and life. So before you were just studying, but this is something happening in reality. And just be really curious about it. Don't pretend you know, because you don't know, because you died and now you're a baby again. So you don't know, and you need to just. But take what's yours. I mean, this is your harvest. You worked your ass off to get here. You did a huge amount of internal work to get here. So if you've got rewards coming in and you're starting to see them, take them. Don't question it. They're yours for sure. Whatever you're getting this week is yours. You need to, that's an interesting vibe. Like I'm saying, don't question it. It is yours. You worked for this. You get it. Have it. But also accept it with gratitude and curiosity. Like, and understand that you're learning still. It is yours, but it's yours to learn about, not yours to dominate at this point. You're not coming in here with an Empress energy. You're not coming in here with the Emperor energy. You're not a queen. You're not a king, you're a learner, you're beginning. So it's yours, but understand that you're beginning. It's like when you have a baby, it's your baby, yeah, but you still got to learn how to change its diaper and feed it and take care of it. Like, it's still yours, but you have to understand that there's a huge learning curve in front of you. So that's what this is. Start on that learning curve. It's yours, but start on the learning curve. So possible outcome, we have 10 of Wands. So we have a burden becoming a blessing. So something that's been really hard for you. So this is, again, another Wands. This is a completion of a cycle too. I mean, there's just like this Ace of Wands and then this 10 of Wands. So I'm seeing the end of something and the beginning of something, this resurrection sort of thing of we died, we went into the earth, and now we're coming back as sort of this new person with a new vibe going on. So this 10 of Wands in this deck, trying to see it through the lens of the Rider-Waite deck too, is this burden of stones is transforming into a castle. So something that was a burden to you, it was really heavy to carry, really difficult. Now you've made it a castle. Look at this. We've got 2 castles here. So that's where your king and queen live. So you're prepared. This is in preparation for becoming the king and queen. I mean, the royalty. I mean, you're starting out, you're at this pages, but a possible outcome is that you will have this very fundamental change in who you understand yourself to be. And it will be someone who gets this castle, is going to be in this castle. So you're having a massive, this is red. I really see, and with the hips here, the hip bones, this transfer, the butterfly is representing transformation. The hip bones are representing this base chakra. The red is representing the base chakra. So you're having a possible outcome here is an absolute new understanding of who you are and how you work in the world, and where you're going with all of this. It just as far as like a fundamental understanding of your right to exist and your value and your worth as is, without any accomplishments, without you know, any external validation needed. You are enough, and you are enough as is. You are worthy of love as is. And that's what this card means, is that rich understanding. And this burden, it may have been a burden of self-worth, it may have been a burden of low self-esteem or something like that, or something that triggers that is transforming into something that's going to support you. It's actually very rich, and here you are, you want to share this rich new world. You've created this rich new sense of self with somebody else, with the world. You're ready to talk about, you know, in the end here, you're going to be ready to talk about this transformation and this thing. And this seems like a pretty quick trip of something. Like, we start out with this Ace of Wands inner, and then we're talking already about this possible outcome. So it seems like whatever cycle this is, it actually goes through pretty quickly this week. And you end up just feeling more solid, more grounded, at the end of the week. So this is a great quick trip. You're learning, you're growing super fast this week. A lot of it's internal, but in the end, you do end up with something that you're sharing with others. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, my dear Pisces. I felt like I enjoyed that. And so I do love your likes and your comments, your very sweet, wonderful comments, and your subscribes. It is definitely helping my newborn baby channel grow, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.